You're watching Forget Being Cool.
Welcome to Listening In, the place where music checks in.
Welcome to Listening In Singles. I'm Dave Moore. Joining me, because I'm not actually sitting here by myself, is Josh Weinberg.
It'd be weirder if you were, though. Hello, everyone.
Thanks for checking in with us. We've got single beds and single tracks.
And we've got one-track minds. No, we don't.
Oh, Jesus.
It'd be ironic theming if it was, but it's not.
This took a turn already. Josh.
Yes?
This is our show for talking about songs that we feel are important to talk about, especially right when they come out or close to when they come out. And you've given me a track that we're going to cover an album from this artist in a few months, right? But
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that, but I feel like this makes sense to talk about now.
Right. So Listening In comes out, the actual first episode comes out like this week. But I want to talk about this with you, Josh. Tell me why you thought this track was important. I'll tell you that I quite enjoyed it, and I'll tell you why after you tell me why you picked it.
Well, how else do you talk about the only band ever? Because for a lot of Canadians that hadn't really gotten into post-hardcore before this band, this was a jumping on point, and like you'll hear us talk about this in a couple of months because we do plan on covering another album from this band, but there is a really nice combination of hardcore punk, and you've got a little bit of the singer-songwriter in there with the way Dallas Green is able to emote and I think I used the word soulfulness already, but then you've just got a really, really tight rhythm section, and the fact that this band has been gone for almost a decade, and not too long ago they came back, and they pulled the whole 9 yards with this thing. They blacked out their social media. They had the cryptic tweets and audio clips, and then there was the pictures with, like, if you zoomed in really close, you would see a 02, a 15, and a 19, and that was the date that this song came out.
It's a weird scavenger hunt. Are we in a locked hotel room? That's because we're listening in where music checks in.
No, but that is a good idea for a Halloween special. Coming soon.
We'll do an escape room instead of doing an album.
An audio escape room. I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a new Alexisonfire track to talk about. Familiar Drugs. This was a very exciting premise because this band has not put out any new music since the Dog's Blood EP in 2010, and that was much more of a standard hardcore punk sound. This is a little different from that.
This is different than the other stuff that I've listened to from them.
Different, but to understand the context of this, you do have to listen to Dog's Blood to see where they were in 2010. Because, again, when it's almost 10 years in between, things are going to sound different.
Yeah, and, I mean, it's just kind of this is kind of small, but, like, even the way we record albums is completely different than we did 10 years ago. So, like, in general, the sound would be different. Unless, we use 10-year-old technology here. But
sorry, Dog's Blood is 2011, not 2010. My bad.
Either way.
Maybe it is 2010. I am going to verify that 2010.
Either way, I really did like this. The only thing that I didn't like on my first listen through was we got to that screamy sound that I can never decipher what they're saying. And then I listened to the song a couple times. I listened to the song, not the album. I listened to the song a few times, and then I had known, I knew the theme, I knew what the song was about, and I understood it. And that was maybe my only criticism of a single track here. Overall, though, I really enjoyed it, and I'm happy that this artist is back.
Now, I definitely picked up on, and this might not sound like a stretch if you understand some of the sort of history of what band members have been up to in the years since that initial split in 2011. This does sound a little bit like a Billy Talent song, and it might or might not be because, of course, drummer Jordan Hastings has been drumming with Billy Talent for the last couple of years now. but that main riff does sound a little bit like what I would hear in a song like Viking Death March, for example, if you guys have heard that Billy Talent track. But I also really like that pre-chorus and, of course, the chorus where I think Dallas, he sounds his most soulful since probably a couple years ago, or like a couple City and Color albums ago. Like the whole like you're pushing in, like it's like a little bit of grit on there, but it's
Good grit.
it's a good kind of grit.
It's like that char that you get on a nice like chicken,
in
nice
a
piece
sense,
of grilled chicken.
yeah, because if you listen to the way George Pettit's vocals sound on here, it is a little bit more of a punk. Like there is a little bit. It's not all screaming. Like there's a little bit of melody to what he's saying. It almost reminds me of some stuff they were doing on Old Crows, Young Cardinals, especially Young Cardinals, where it's. I'm trying to find the right comparison to it. I guess it's a little more like I don't know, like a Henry Rollins or, like. Like it's tough, but it's not in your face all the time. But he goes back to that moan in the chorus, and then when it goes to that post-chorus, the bridge post-chorus outro part, where it goes a little bit slower, and you really get that groove in there with Wade doing the "You're pushing."
I like this a lot. I really did. I'm glad it's here. I'm excited for those who are fans of it.
Oh, for sure. The cool thing about this is, well, they are working on a couple more songs, but I want to make this clear that the band themselves have said that there are no plans to really release anything else right now beyond this track. And the song itself, I think the message behind it really works. It's very self-aware in that this person, whoever it's about, is recognizing they need to make a change in their life, but then they just do whatever they always do. So it's just basically, I don't know if it's about laziness, if it's about dependence in a negative way, but it's about it's basically everyone has something in their lives that they can't let go of, and they're choosing to continue to stay in that situation, even if it's dangerous to them or to the people around them.
This is a really important lesson to learn, and this is what I took away from it too. I've talked publicly on other shows about this, and it's this realization that sometimes you're in something, you're in a relationship, or you've got a habit or whatever it is that you do, and it's not good for you. It's not healthy, and if it is damaging your life in any way, right? Because everybody does things that we shouldn't, right? Like it's not even probably really shouldn't even be drinking, right? But we all sometimes like a beer after work. But this idea that if it is harming you psychologically, physically, mentally, it is making you a worse person, then it is bad for you. And just because you stick with what you're used to, the familiar drug, that doesn't make it okay. Just because it is part of something you do every day doesn't mean it's right. And sometimes you need to be able to sit down and evaluate yourself. And that's hard. It's really hard to do.
And I think especially the idea is that you have to it takes a lot of strong willpower, especially in some cases, to move past your comfort zone, to find, it sounds like a strange metaphor, but to move past your comfort zone to find a new one.
Right.
Because you might end up, when you take risks, sometimes the reward can be even greater than the initial risk.
Right. And you will learn this in time. And I think everybody learns this lesson, whether they learn it the hard way or the easy way. This is something that during life you will learn. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening and listening in. And thank you for being part of Forget Being Cool. I know we've just gotten started here, and listening in is coming out this week. And
we're really excited for you guys to check it out, and we hope you give it a chance. We're really excited about where we think it's going.
Yeah, and I have enjoyed every conversation I've had with Josh. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I don't think he's enjoyed every single one.
Nah, I mean, there was that weird J-pop album. Oh, and there was that one grungy album that's pretty early in our list that I don't know if that's really grunge. You'll know what it is when we talk about it. We'll refer back to it as the worst album we've ever talked about again and again and again. I'm Dave Moore. That's Josh Weinberg. Thank you. And hit that subscribe button, guys. We got 3 subscribers this week. We could do better. Come on. We could do better than that. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.